millions trapped in sheds and storage units. The hidden homeless crisis exploding in 2026. This is the deception revelation warned about. Pay attention right now, because the truth hitting America in 2026 is brutal and undeniable. Revelation makes it crystal clear the first sign of the end times isn't exploding wars or devastating famines sweeping the land. It's not total collapse or chaos tearing through cities with monsters on every corner. No, the first sign is far more insidious. It's deception that sounds totally reasonable. It feels logical, even compassionate at times. Policies and systems dressed up as solutions, but really stripping away dignity and pushing people into the shadows. That's precisely what's driving millions into sheds, garages, backyard structures, and storage units across the country. Rent has skyrocketed beyond what everyday workers can handle, forcing families, seniors, and employed people into these unsafe, illegal hiding spots just to have some kind of roof. It's not visible homelessness on sidewalks, it's hidden, quiet desperation. People sneaking into storage facilities at night, rigging up sheds in backyards without power or water, cramming into spaces never meant for human life. All because the housing market failure is spun as normal economics, as supply and demand, as something reasonable that individuals just need to tough out. Reports from 2025 and into 2026 paint a grim picture. Surveys show 1 in 5 Americans have slept in a storage unit at some point, with over a third tying it directly to homelessness. Facilities are evicting people left and right when discovered, because it's illegal. No plumbing, no ventilation, fire hazards everywhere. Yet desperation wins. In places like California, landlords rent out backyard sheds for hundreds a month, no utilities, packing in a dozen people. In Jacksonville and beyond, caseworkers deal with clients fleeing to units due to financial strain, domestic violence, or disabilities. This isn't rare. It's surging as rents climb relentlessly. Median rents jumped dramatically in recent years, outpacing wages by massive margins. Half of renters spend over 30% of income on housing, with millions severely burdened at over 50%. When a $100 rent hike hits a community, homelessness spikes 9%. That's the math from experts. Pandemic aid kept many housed temporarily, but once it ended, evictions surged, inflation bit hard, and people vanished into these hidden spaces. Officials clear visible encampments, calling it cleanup for safety. Reasonable, right? But it just displaces folks deeper underground, into storage units or sheds where no one counts them. This is Revelation's deception alive today. It doesn't announce itself with evil fanfare. It comes as rising costs that seem inevitable in a free market, as enforcement of zoning laws banning lived-in vehicles or structures, as lack of affordable builds prioritized over profit. It feels reasonable to say storage units aren't for living, they're not safe. But when apartments demand $2,000 a month and wages stagnate, where do people go? The system deceives us into accepting this as individual failure, not systemic collapse. Think about the human toll. Workers with jobs sometimes too sneaking into climate-controlled units for a semblance of security. Seniors on fixed incomes rigging sheds because Social Security can't cover rent surges. Families doubling up in garages unfit for habitation. No running water, no heat in winter, constant fear of eviction or discovery. Facilities monitor with cameras, walkthroughs, and quick removals. One viral case after another, people kicked out after exposure, belongings seized or trashed. It's heartbreaking because these spaces offer false hope, cheap monthly rent for a lockable door, but zero livability, and it's hidden homelessness on a massive scale. Official counts miss most of it. People couch surfing, vehicle dwelling, or shed squatting don't show in point-in-time surveys. True numbers likely dwarf the visible 770,000 plus reported. In rural and suburban areas, unsheltered rates climb as costs invade everywhere. States like Arizona, Texas, Ohio see huge jumps tied to local rent explosions. No region escapes. Even affordable areas turn hostile as investors buy up properties. Why now in 2026? Post-pandemic rent spikes haven't reversed fully. Inflation eroded buying power. Wages lag badly. Eviction backlogs cleared, pushing more out. Migrant arrivals strain systems in some spots, but the core is affordability collapse. Deception sells it as temporary market adjustment, as need for personal responsibility. But revelation exposes it, false peace conquering through subtle means, eroding society from within. The emotional gut punch is real. Imagine raising kids in a dark storage unit, whispering to stay quiet during inspections, or a veteran promised support reduced to backyard shed life, dignity stripped, health risked, poor air, no sanitation, fire traps. Yet it's reasonable to enforce no living rules for liability, reasonable to prioritize property values over people. That's the lie. Broader view shows patterns repeating. High-cost cities lead, but spread nationwide. Backyard units in LA rented illegally for $750 a month, no power. Reddit threads full of people admitting months or years in units before eviction. Facilities train staff to spot signs, extra trash, power use, frequent access. Evictions follow swiftly, often leaving people worse off, but we reject this deception. Revelation urges vigilance against reasonable-sounding conquests. Demand real fixes. Massive affordable housing builds, rent stabilization, wage boosts, expanded vouchers. Support hidden homeless with safe parking, legal shed programs where humane. Question crackdowns that hide rather than solve. Shine light on storage dwellers, shed residents, their symptoms of failure, not problems themselves. Solutions are straightforward if prioritized. Fund rapid rehousing without barriers. Convert unused buildings. Tax vacant investor properties heavily. Protect against predatory rents. Stand against deception, normalizing inhuman conditions. This crisis screams Revelation's warning. Deception feels reasonable while destroying lives quietly. Millions in sheds and units prove it. No more acceptance. Act with awareness, demand justice, build humanity. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you. Follow so we can stay connected. Your support matters more than you know, and I appreciate every moment you give to listen. Your support is important to me, and it helps me a lot. It keeps me active, bringing you important information with your support and comments, likes, and shares. Feel free to like, support, and subscribe. I will always provide content for you. I appreciate every support you give. Crowning Thoughts, True Speaker, copyright 2025 by Santiago D.C. Maria, licensed under Creative Commons Attribution. I love you all and I appreciate each of you. Stay blessed. Thank you for listening. Love always. Santiago D.C. Maria.